にゃにゃにゃラジオ。はい、ということで始まりましたにゃにゃにゃラジオ。このポッドキャストは私学生じゃないですね、エンジニアですねのゆずちんが、お送りする緩やかなポッドキャストでございます。今回も始まりましたということで、今回はゲストがなんとビデオコールでね参加してくれています。今回のゲストはじゃらるくんです。
イエーイ。皆さんよろしくお願いします。
ジャラルを覚えていますか皆さん。ジャラルはですね Facebook で働いているエンジニアくんで、ゆずちんの大好きなお友達です。
そうですね、また誘ってくれて本当にありがとう。
いやもちろんそうで、今回ねジャラルと喋りたかったのは、いつもジャラルと喋りたいんだけど、 especially like I really wanted to talk with you like over the past like few weeks.Oh
yeah, there's been a lot going on.
Yeah, there's been a lot going on in the world, right? Like, seriously. So there's been, so many things going on, like so many like messed up stuff going on.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah, where should we start? Like I don't even know.
Okay, well, this weekend there were those protests.In Virginia, right?
Yeah.
There was that. I guess the week before that, there was the Google memo.
Yeah.
And what happened before that? I'm pretty sure, like, it's just so hard. Oh, there's been North Korea.
Yeah, fire and fury. North Korea will be met with fire and fury. Yeah. Yeah.Wait, how did you translate?
Oh, I just saw this on the BBC. 炎と激動。
炎と激動。I don't know if that's an accurate translation though. Like, if you say fire, it doesn't like necessarily mean 炎でしょ?
That's true.
That's more like, I mean, when Trump said fire, it meant more like 武器.
Oh.
Like arm, no?I
know that would make sense.
Yeah, that was the impression that I got.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, yeah.
Cray. Yeah, so many things have been going on. So where should we start? Maybe North Korea, because we already started talking about it.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, like what was... Oh, okay, so before we start going into the topics, like... なんかちょっと short introductions of ourselves. Like ジャラルはもともと政治も専攻してたんだよね。
そうですね。
政
治経済。
そう、政治経済を専攻してて、で、あとコンピューターサイエンスと政治経済を専攻してて、で、私も大学2年生まで政治を勉強してたので、we have this like kind of common interest in politics and computer science.
そうですね。私も高校時代はディベート、議論のクラブに参加していて、
すごい。
で、でも本当にたくさんの賢い先輩がいてくれて、で、その先輩たちがどういうふうにニュースを、どういうふうに自動的にニュースを見るのだけではなくて、クリティカルにどういうふうに見た方がいいのかっていうことを教えてくれたので、
That's awesome.
そうですね。だから、高校時代からずっと世界情勢に興味を持ってたんですよね。
そうだね、すごいね。私は大学に入って大学1年生の時になんかセミナーを取ってて、それが The Economist を読むセミナーだったの。
あ、そうなんですか。
そうで、それで毎週なんか記事をピックアップして先生が、それでなんかリサーチをしてこなきゃいけなくて、バックグラウンドリサーチみたいな。
Okay.
でその時にいつも I always read like BBC, CNN and like all other like world news, and that's how I started to read, like absorb like information from overseas.
なるほど。じゃあ俺たちの始まりはちょっと重なっている部分があるんだね。
そうだね、オーバーラップしてるね。
俺も The Economist から始まったって感じだったから。
But like honestly.These days, like the news have been like kind of too much for me, and like I honestly, I haven't really like gone through everything because it's too depressing to me. I'm kind of like staying away from reading the news articles and stuff, kind of. So you gotta kind of update me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. I probably don't know much more than you do, but
yeah, in my understanding, the current situation as of 15th August today, I think, okay, Trump が挑発した like, okay, I don't know the first move, but I'm pretty sure that North Korea threatened the US in some way.
Right.
As always.
North Korea has been carrying out tests recently.
Missile program?
Trump has been... I guess I'm not sure either who's the first person.
Right.
But I know that there was that background, and every time they do some kind of test, Trump always responds saying, like, if they don't stop, this is like really the last time, みたいな感じで、挑発をして、and then, like, そういう繰り返しになってしまう。
そうだよね。でも、particularly this time, like Trump said like something pretty intense, like, oh, North Korea, you will be met with fire and fury like you've never seen, like the world have never seen, something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that a lot of people do know that Trump says these sort of things and that it isn't out of character. It is not out of character for him to say something crazy.
Yeah, like I feel like especially American people are already kind of like getting used to hearing those kind of intense wordings. But like if you take the words at the what do you call it, like face value?
Right.
It's crazy, でしょ? And that's why North Korea is responding like seriously.
Right, definitely.
Yeah.
That's true. I don't feel like South Korea is very surprised by the tone North Korea is taking because they're used to it. But I do feel like there's more awareness in the U.S. 今までは北朝鮮は脅威の国であるとみんなは大体なんかぼんやりとして分かっていたけれども、これほどお話題になったことは多分僕の知っている中でなくて、
そうだよね。
なんかこれくらいのなんだろう、like みんながこういう風に大騒ぎしてて話しているのが多分初めてだから。そうだよね。
Like, this time North Korea is specifically saying that like its target is Guam, でしょ?
Yeah,
that
true.
is really scary when you think about it.
That's true. I mean, I do kind of also get the feeling that Trump is using this as in what way I can't say for sure, but I do feel like なんか政治的なツールとして利用しているのかなという気もあるんだね。
Oh, wait, what do you mean by 政治的なツール?
Well, North Korea is a pretty small country.
Yeah.
And their only real claim to fame is the fact that they have nuclear weapons. And no one really expects them to use those nuclear weapons unless the US miscalculates or North Korea miscalculates. But I don't know, I just feel like
Yeah, I feel like, yeah, it's true that North Korea is a small country in terms of like geography, but at the same time, they own the world's fourth biggest military, でしょ?
That's true.
Yeah, when you think about it, it's pretty quiet. And also, what scares me the most is that like now the US is led by Donald Trump, North Korea is led by Kim Jong-un でしょ And they're not like really experienced politicians. And
That's true.
yeah, we don't really know like what they're going to do. They're kind of like unpredictable in a way. And that scares me emotionally.
That is true.
Yeah. So what's like the reaction in the US? Because in Japan it's kind of the same as South Korea. Like people are a little bit kind of like used to this threatenings. But how is the situation in the US? Like, are people worried in any sense, or what is it like?
I do think that people that know about North Korea are not surprised, but I do kind of get the feeling that the sort of rank and file, like your average person, is more concerned. Like, normally they don't hear about North Korea, but now they hear about it all the time in the news. So, you know, I do think people are kind of there is a sense of fear. I mean, I don't think anyone seriously believes something is going to break out, but yeah, I do think there is like this sort of this sense that something could happen.
Right. そうね。Yeah, and also the Virginia no.
Right, yeah. It's actually really funny.
Wait, what is funny?
Oh, like,この間の週末、私が友達に遊びに行ったんですよ。ワシントン DC に行って、で、私、レッドアイの夜中のフライトに乗って、早朝に着いてたんで、ホテルに行って、で、そのホテルの最寄りに大きな会場があったんですよね。で、アニメのイベントがあって、たくさんのオタクの人が参加しに来てたみたいで、で、ワシントン DC はバージニアと面している地区だから、南の方から来る人が結構ワシントン DC にはあるのね、いるのね。で、なんか面白いことに、私がホテル、これが朝だね。朝、そのホテルのロビーに座っていて、テーブルで座ってて、ちょっとニュースがテレビに流したから、テレビのニュースにその抗議デモのニュースがあった一方、目の前にアニメコンベンションに参加しに来た南の方の人がバーッと行ってて、なんかそのギャップっていうか、
そうね。
それがちょっと面白いと思ってて、
めっちゃピースフルな光景とめっちゃ物々しい光景が同時に見てたんだね。
そうなんかコスプレしている人は目の前にいるのに、テレビはそのトーチを手に抗議デモをしている南の人が、それはちょっと面白い
That's crazy.
面白い光景だったね。
So, okay, I don't なんかさ、そのデモしてたのはそもそも Wait, white nationalists?
Yeah, so the general idea was that in the South there are a lot of monuments that kind of honor the South's Confederate history. So でもともと南の方では奴隷制度があったんですよね。で、内戦まではあって、内戦で南のアメリカが敗北したので、それで廃止になって、だけど、like technically slavery ended, but
discrimination
after the
didn't?
South lost. Right. I mean, discrimination didn't end. I mean, overnight. So there are a lot of people, even in the South today, that are pretty proud of their history and their way of life. And there are a lot of statues and monuments that honor a lot of their leaders.
You mean white leaders?
And it's a really big, like, it gets a lot of people really upset because a lot of that history is linked to the fact that slavery was part of that system.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a big thing. This is not the first time that something like this has come up. My friend, she went to Yale, and at Yale there was a very famous building that was named after one of the generals in the Civil War.
Right.
And the students recently were protesting to rename that building something else.
Because it's more, it's like celebrating the slavery in a way.
Right. So, I mean, it's complicated, and it's definitely not the first time something like this has happened. で、その背景があるのね。でも私が今回すごくびっくりしたのが、ナチの旗を手に持っている。
Yeah, like why is Nazi, like how is Nazi related to all this? I mean, like, 思想がちょっと似てるのはわかるけど、it's not directly related でしょ？
そうだね。でも今でもニオナチの団体が存在すると思うんだよね。ところで、あと、I mean, recently there's been, I don't know what this is called in Japanese, but the alt-right, a group of extremely rightist, like extremely right people have really grown in strength on the internet over the past couple years or so. So I mean, I think that's also a factor.
Right. And then this protest happened in Virginia, and people who opposed to the protest と衝突したってことだよね。
そうでしたね。車衝突事故があって。
Yeah, physically 衝突。
Yeah.
Whoa. I feel like, that's so sad.
どんな気持ちですか？
Like,
外から見ていると
like なんかさ、私が高校生くらいの時にオバマが大統領になったんだよね、多分。Like 8 years ago でしょ？だからなんかその時はさ、なんか I felt like this world has kind of united together、でなんかすごくなんだろう、希望に満ち溢れてた感じがしたんだけど、and I don't know, I feel like I used to believe in this like humanity, but now it's in doubt, kind of like it's hard to believe that humanity will prevail.
Right.
Yeah, I feel kind of powerless. Like, I don't know what to do about the current situations. Like, on a world scale and also like on the smaller scale, like in my community that I'm in. Like, なんかさ、その Google の話にちょっとずるけど、Google のメモがね、リークしたんだよね。
はい。
そう、なんか Google の会社のアメリカのエンジニアが he wrote this memo internally about how women are not really fit biologically to an engineer career.
Right.
Yeah, and that upset many people, like both internally and externally. So that happened. だからそういうのもそうだけど、なんか最近そういうなんて言ったらいいかな、なんかヒューマニティを信じられないことが多いね。
確かに。そうですね。
Yeah, I feel unsafe these days.
Do you feel like the world has actually changed, or do you feel like maybe you were just a little naive before?
I feel like the world has actually changed. In the way that like なんていうかな、なんか Okay, before all this mess, I feel like there was this kind of wave towards なんて言ったらいいかな、なんか ideal world, like where everything is diverse, everyone is accepted in the society. なんかそういう世界に向かってなんていうか頑張っていこうみたいなさムードがあったじゃない？ And I feel like that なんていうの mood was like so strong that some people disagreed with it. So なんかだからなんかそうなんだろう、そのなんていうかそのムードが強すぎたことが問題だったのかなと思う。
That's an interesting point.
だってさ、なんかトランプのサポーターの人も結構さ、その We're tired of being politically correct みたいなこと言うじゃない？
確かにね。
なんかそれに近い。
同じこと言ってたね。
そう。でなんかそれがたくさん共感を得たってこと、そのメッセージがさたくさん共感を得たってことは、I guess many people felt that way. Even I sometimes feel that way. Like なんか時々さ、最近はすごくなんだろう、例えばまあでもこれはなあれだけど、なんかさちょっと人々は people have become like really picky about things. Like some people.
That is true. I think that なんかインターネットのカルチャーによって自分の言うことはなかなか消えないっていうことも多分関係していると思う。
そうだね。Oh, okay. One example. Like one of my friends is active on Tumblr, and she's drawing a lot of like manga kind of なんかちょっと characters を描いてるんだけど、なんか she draws a lot of like female characters, like Asian female characters, because that's what she's inspired from. なんだけど、なんか she's getting a lot of like attacks on Tumblr via comments, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, because she's only drawing Asian girls. And I think that's like ちょっと too much だと思うのね。
Right. I can totally see that, unfortunately.
Yeah. そうだからなんかそういうなんだろう、なんかそういうのってだって make sense しないじゃない？ Because that's like her form of art, and no one can なんていうの interfere with that, you know? And it's not discrimination. It's more like なんていうかね、別に discrimination してるわけではないじゃない？だけど、そういうpolitically correct っていうのを間違えて解釈してる人 like people do misinterpret political correctness, and I think that's part of the problem.
Right. ゆずさんが言っていることの中にいろいろなことがあると思うんだね。なんか一つが、なんだろう、リベラルの人の過激の派の人が登場して、例えば何かを言うと何かを支援する時とかはすごくちゃんとしたことを言わないとその人を怒らせることになるから、普通の人がlike there's a lot of okay. I talked with my friend about this a lot. I do think that identity politics goes a little too far sometimes. And when I say identity politics, I mean like race or sexual orientation or religion. I mean, I think that these are things that are like they can be really empowering, but it's not healthy to segregate ourselves into. I mean, it's hard, right? Because you do find community by surrounding yourself with people that are like you, like that. I mean, that's that's how I would define a community, right? It's a bunch of people that they share a belief system or they share some kind of background.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's not healthy to only live within that community.
Yeah.
If you aren't comfortable with other people's ideas and you're not comfortable with people challenging that you know, whatever belief system you have, like I do think that is unhealthy.
Yeah.
So I think there's that. I think there's also I mean, like the thing you brought up with your friend, people don't want her to draw Asian characters. Like I honestly think it's just very messy right now. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like, did you hear about, there was I think we've talked about this. We've talked about how there was an art exhibit in Boston where you could try on a kimono.
Okay.
And take a picture in front of a Monet painting.
Okay.
And the idea was you would be recreating this famous Monet painting because Monet's wife wore a kimono. And I think I'm getting the story correct, but I might have something wrong.
Yeah, I think that's correct.
You're right. So she wore a kimono, and Monet he like painted her.
Right.
Because at that time in France there was a lot of interest in the Orient, in Japan. And a lot of French artists were actually seeking inspiration from Japanese
culture
painters. But this exhibit in Boston led to a lot of protests.
Oh, I didn't know.
People were saying, like, yeah, it was at the Boston Museum of Fine Arts.
Oh, how come people protest?
Well, they were saying that you can't be wearing a kimono if you're not Japanese.
Oh, wow.
It's racist.
That's...
Right. So,
that doesn't make sense.
Right. I mean, I don't agree with it at all. And, you know, there's a specific historical moment that painting is evoking, right? Because there's a history behind it. There's a context behind it.
Exactly.
And so I think it just bothers me when people take things out of context.
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree. Yeah, so there's that, and yeah, I feel like that's one of the reasons why people have this kind of なんて言うんだろう、揺り戻しみたいな。
私も同じようなことを読んだことがあって、オバマの大統領の上がりとともに、過激な思想の持っている人の普及もあったっていうことを
Yeah, I can totally see that.
You're right. It's interesting because I've read that a couple different places. I was reading a book about terrorism, kind of like different subjects, but the author was saying something. The author was talking about Muslim people that grow up in Europe.
Right.
And she was saying that when the governments in Europe and the societies become more hostile to Islam, Muslim people then become more radical.
I see.
So I feel like it definitely, I think it's just something like in human nature that if, you know, if you threaten someone, they're going to push back. And,
yeah, exactly.
You know, if they feel scared, right? That if they feel vulnerable or scared or threatened.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, okay, for example, regarding the Google memo about diversity, like, do you think there's anything we as a なんて言ったらいいかな Okay, we too なんか私もジャラルも diversity についてはとてもさなんか信じてるじゃないその diversity が良いものであって、we have to promote diversity っていう立場だけれども like do you think there was anything we could have done better to have prevented that kind of pushback?
That's a good question. I know that everyone has been saying なんか最近よく言われるのが、他方の人と話せっていうことだね。例えば、もし私がリベラルだと、保守派の人と話せっていうように、なんか他方の意見をより理解するのがいいことだってよく耳に入るけど、I don't know if I really believe that alone can solve the issue.
Yeah, そうだね。
To be totally honest, I think that we have to be comfortable with there being diversity. There has to be some diversity of opinion. Maybe this is just pessimist. Maybe this is just the pessimist in me, but I don't think we ever are going to get rid of racism or sexism. And I think we have to be okay with things like this happening. I think we have to be better at cleaning up the mess when it happens.
I see. What do you think is the good way to clean up this kind of mess? Because, okay, I agree with your friend that in that like we should talk to more people, like we shouldn't stay in our like comfortable bubble. だからなんかそういう意味ではさ I don't think Google's CEO's decision to fire that memo guy was like the smartest decision.
Right, okay.
Yeah, that's my position. Like, yeah, like firing the guy doesn't solve anything. I mean, it does solve, like, it seems like it's solving the problem, like, right now, but I don't think it solves the problem fundamentally.
I guess, since Google is a company, do you think the best forum for discussion would be? Do you think it would be like maybe holding a town hall or letting other people post their own memos? Like, what do you think the best way?
I think the best way, yeah, I think okay, I'm not, okay,なんだろう。そうだね、best way は難しいけど、でも、I think the best way to deal with this kind of thing, I think personally, is to educate people like them. なんかそうだな。なんかさ、どうなんだろうな。難しいけど、でもなんかそういう人たちの意見もさ、大事じゃん。Like the guy's point was okay. That memo guy was making a lot of points, but なんか one of them was that like he was feeling that he can't express his opinions openly because it's against Google's policy.
Right.
っていう話だったでしょ。なんかそれはさ結構大きい問題だと思うの。
なるほどね。
そうそうなんか。自分の意見を言うことができない周りの人と意見が違うから言うことができないっていうのは私はなんかそれは解決すべき問題だと思ってて、でなんか今回はその彼の意見が his view was like really extreme, so extreme that it made a lot of employees uncomfortable. だからなんかそれはすごく今回難しいコンプリケートなシチュエーションになっちゃったけど、でも本来そのディスカッションできないっていうことはすごく 根本的な問題だと思ってて、で throwing away that guy doesn't solve that problem。
じゃあちょっと質問があるんだけど、もしかして Google の社長さんがその強い対決の姿勢を示さなかったら、ゆずちゃんがもし、もし Google で働いている女性の人のポジションに自分を入れようとしたら、毎日出勤して、なんか安心して仕事できると思う？I
don't think so. Okay, this is a really complicated question. But okay, I totally agree with you. Like, I wouldn't feel safe at work if this guy is like in my workplace. That's true. But at the same time, like, if you stop the conversation right there, like, it doesn't wipe out the threat.
Right.
That's my point.
Yeah.
Like, even if you like throw away that guy might feel okay, if you その人をファイアしたところでしてしまったら that guy might feel like more strongly about what he thinks about diversity or like
right.
なんかもっと思想を強めてしまうんじゃないかって思うのね。
確かに。
そうだからそもそもその人がそういう考えを持っていたってことに問題があるっていうか、まあそれは私の考えだけど問題があるわけで、その考えを持ったままいなくなられたところで the problem still remains, especially because people as the Google memo guy said, like people can't express their views freely at work。だから誰が何を考えてるかっていうのは分からないじゃない？
じゃあもう一つ質問があるんだけど、本来社会で議論すべきことと、企業の中で議論すべきことの違いは何だと思う？根本的に。
Good question。そうだな。なんかそれはなんか企業によって違うかもしれないけど、まあ普通の企業だったら私はなんだろうな。まあ確かにセーフなワークエンバイロメントについてフォーカスするっていうのが確かに企業としては正しいやり方かもしれない。その Google のその判断もそういう意味では正しいのかもしれないけど、at the same time, like なんか私は Google に対してすごい希望を持ってて、なんかさ、だって Google って It's built on diversity でしょ？ダイバーシティがあるからこそ、職場のダイバーシティをこんなに大事に守ってきたからこそ今の Google の成功があるわけで、だからこそなんか Google could lead this conversation about diversity。 だからこそなんか企業としてというよりなんかもうそのダイバーシティに関してのコンバーセーションを始めるなんていうかリーダーみたいな存在としてもうちょっとなんていうか会話をそこで止めちゃうんじゃなくて、もうちょっと深いディスカッションができた方が良かったのかなと私は思っちゃ
う。なるほどね。
そう、
やっぱりそれが漏洩したからその会話ができない結果につながったとは思いますかね。
それもあるね。確かにリークしたのはねちょっとねなんか
世界の目が Google に向けてあるわけでちょっと、ディシジョンカルキュラスも変わっちゃいますよね。
そうだね、本当そうだね。確かにね、実際自分が CEO だったらファイヤーするしかないのかもしれないけど、でもさもうちょっと期待してたっていうか Google に対して。
なるほどね。
だってそうじゃん、アメリカ合衆国もさ、ユナイテッド・ステイツ・オブ・アメリカもダイバーシティをすごく進めてきた国じゃない？
多分そうだね。
その built on diversity っていう意味ではそれもそうだと思うのね。で一番移民の国だから一番最初にそのダイバーシティとかの問題に直面したわけで、 その日本みたいなそのなんだろうホモジニアスな国から見たら Google とか United States of America っていうのはもうちょっとなんだろうダイバーシティの議論を前に進めていく存在、一番最初にそういう問題に直面するなんだろうコミュニティなんだから、なんかその解決例っていうのをどんどん示していってほしいと思うわけよ。Like how to deal with these like complex issues about diversity っていうのをなんか示していくべきだと思うんだけど、 Yeah, I feel like I've been seeing the dead ends of the problem. その、なんかトランプの話もそうだし、バージニアの話もそうだし、今回の Google メモの話もそうだけど、結局なんかまだ何もさ、私たちはどうしたらいいかわからないっていうところで止まってるのかなって気がする。
そうだね。Interesting. I had never thought about them as part of like, I never kind of put all those events together, but I do feel like you're right that they are related.
Yeah, I totally feel that way. なんかその多様性っていうのをここまで推し進めてきた、まあ2015年とか16年とかまでこうどんどんさ LGBTQ が結婚できるようになったりとか同性婚で結婚できるようになったりとか、まあ、そういういろんなさダイバーシティに関してヒストリカルプログレスがあったわけじゃない。それのプッシュバックが急にこの2016から17にかけてたくさんのプッシュバックが来てて、 We like as humans like we don't really know how to deal with them yet, and that's really sad.
That's true, that's true. そうだね。なんかちょっと思ってたのが、前に高校時代の時に制服のクラスがあって、みんな民主主義の話をするんだね。で、私がすごく自分の民主主義の国家に自信じゃないけど、なんか信仰を持ってたのが、市民はみんな政府に参加するからこそ、もし政府のやっていることに反対するのであれば、声を上げることで、政策に影響を与えられるっていうことを、なんかそれがすごいいいことだとずっと思ってたのね。でもなんか最近トランプも大統領になっちゃって、Google メモとか、なんかいろんな意味で、多様性のある社会は、なんか攻撃されている例が相次いでて、
そうだね。
でちょっと思ってたのが、なんか一つのことがバーッと起き上がると、私が抗議デモに参加できるし、声を上げることもできるけど、こうやってバンバンこういう事件が相次いでいると、なんか声を上げても仕方ないんじゃないかなと思うから。
わかる。
なんかだから最近民主主義があっても、いやなんか民主主義の国家だからって結局声を上げても仕方ないから、本当に民主主義に力というか本当にこの制度は安定しているのかなっていう不安が
わかる。
増しているね。
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Like, I feel more and more powerless these days. Like, なんかそうだね。なんかパーソナルなレベルで何ができるのかが分からなくなってきたかもしれない。
そう。
Yeah.
すごい分かる。
Yeah, personally, I want to believe that love trumps hate, you know? さ、レディー・ガガがさ、ポスト持ってたじゃない Love trumps hate って。なんか、あれを信じていたいけど、でも、すごい難しいよね、マインドセットとして。個人としてもすごい難しい。To, like, try to love the haters. Or like,
That's true.
But I want to be that person who could love those people. And like for me love means like なんかもしその人たちが人を傷つけるのであれば正しい方向にガイドするみたいな、そういった意味でのなんか love が必要だと思うの。
私も思うよ。
だけど難しいね。Yeah, I wonder.
前にも俺たちがこの話をしたと思うんだけど、信仰はありのなんかもちろんのこととして思うのがダメだと思うんだよね。なんか、何をすればいいのかわからない俺たちは何をすればいいのかわからないかもしれないけど、なんか待ってたら必ず状況が変わって良くなると信じるのがダメだと思う。
確かに。Yeah, we should actively do something.
I agree.
Okay, let's start something. Seriously.
I'm down.
Yeah, maybe YouTube channel.
Yeah, I would be down.
Yeah, やってみよう、本当に。Yeah, I feel like I've been waiting too long. なんか何かが起こるのを待ちすぎてる気がする。
I agree.
Yeah.
And I feel like we have a good, like, unique perspective.
Yeah, we do. Seriously. Yay! Yay, 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 yay. そうね、なんか最近はすごくそういう意味ではなんかちょっとエモーショナリーダウナーが多かったけど、なんかそうだね、もうちょっと希望が持てるようなね、考えていかないとね。
そうだね、きっとなんか思いつく。
Yeah! Okay, I'm down.
Okay.
何かしようね。
絶対。
ということで、希望に満ち溢れているということで、今回のねねねラジオを締めたいと思います。ちょっとポリティカルなことが多くなりましたが、いかがでしたでしょうか。また次回も聞いてください。じゃあねー。